Hi everyone, this is Bobby from bn-games.com, and the following video has taken months to complete. You will hear me discuss things in order. All the clips will be in order as I recorded them and went through this process of modifying the Sega Astro Mini stick with the Seimitsu LS56, which is my favorite lever. You know, it's my favorite lever. I put it in everything. I apologize for the weird janky nature of the video. I originally kind of wanted this to be sort of a video tutorial, and then things really went south, really went downhill. It took months because of issues and work schedules and everything else in between. So please bear that in mind as you watch this. Also bear in mind this is really a cautionary tale. Maybe doing research. I should have done research about this stick before attempting this, see what I really was getting into. I assumed it was going to be an easy swap. Thought this video was going to take 2 days to complete, at least the filming, and it did not. It did not. So please enjoy my frustration updating a fight stick with a stick it wasn't designed for, which I've done with other sticks before and not run into these sorts of things, and more. Hi everyone, this is Bobby from bn-games.com, and today we're doing a fight stick upgrade. Today we're going to be upgrading my Sega Astro City Mini fight stick. This particular fight stick was part of the bundle with the Sega Astro Mini cabinet, which I'll show some video here. I did a long review of that, and if you're interested, that will be in the title card, so you can check that out. This particular stick is probably my favorite piece of that entire package. It's really well built, very solid. It was about $200 if I remember correctly. It has all Sanwa parts. This has a Sanwa JLF 8-way stick with a square gate. And, well, I want to be clear, I don't hate Sanwa parts. I don't hate the Sanwa JLF at all, but it's not my preferred stick. And if you've been subscribed to the channel for an amount of time, you've probably seen many videos. I'll do a little more video of stuff I've done before. Converting my arcade machines and my other fight sticks to the Seimitsu LS56, which is my favorite arcade stick, or fight stick, specifically joystick. And that's what we're going to do with this one. We're going to upgrade this one. I have never opened this up. All I did was buy the parts, and we're going to stick them in this thing, see if we run into any issues or anything. I haven't done this before. For this one, haven't watched any guides or reviews, so come along with me and let's see what's involved. Now, I know in 2022, all you kids are with your fancy hitboxes and your basically keyboard controls. I, unfortunately, have nothing against them myself, but nothing's going to replace the fight stick for me, and that's going to be the way it's going to remain for the rest of my living days. Like I said, I don't hate the Sanwa stick that's in here, but it feels too loose to me, and the LS56 has a much shorter throw. It's much tighter. I've grown to really like that. We're going to open this up with my trusty iFixit kit. It's not a sponsor. I own a couple kits. I work in electronics and computers for a living, so of course I have one. And today's parts were bought through Arcade Shock. So here's the LS56. Octagonal gate, because I really prefer octagonal gate over square. We're going to try using a multicolored green ball top. I'm not sure if I'm going to replace it or not, because it kind of doesn't match. Since I'm not changing the buttons are fine. That doesn't look too bad. Kind of eyeballing it, but we may or may not keep this specifically, you know. They also give you the black ball top that comes with the stick as a combo. And for the first time, I think they actually gave me a wiring loom with the stick. I don't think I've ever gotten one of these after buying like a dozen of these now, which is very useful. So we're going to first open it up before I start getting all the parts here going, and we're going to see what is what. So, I try to do this on camera so you can see everything I'm doing. I have a room here in the lab. Alright, so we're going to remove these 6 screws and see if this panel comes off, because I don't see any other way for this to come off. They're kind of tight. I only partly unscrewed the one. I don't want to strip them. We'll avoid that. It was not easy to get out. I might have stripped the screw a little bit, but if you're taking this thing apart, I'll tell you right off the bat, these screws kind of suck. They're very soft metal from what I can tell, at least on mine, and oh. Thought it was going to take some prying, it didn't, once I got that off. Metal panel came off, and you can't mistake it because it's got this little notch here for the USB. Now this I wasn't expecting. There's a whole nother panel. These are bigger Phillips screws. We're gonna have to take those off. But I was not expecting this. This is definitely unique in my experience. Okay, these are definitely different screws than the ones for the back panel. So don't mix them up. I mean, you kind of can't. They're different size. They're also easier to get out, at least from this one. That was unexpected. Well, the traditional way of doing this isn't gonna work. Holy crap. Okay. The plot thickens. I was, definitely not expecting that. Okay, so those metal panels are clearly there for ballast and that only. We're gonna need to find something that fits these star types. Thankfully I have an iFixit kit. I was not expecting to have to remove the... Oh, first try. I get that. I was not expecting to have to switch... to take the front panel off. Maybe. No, actually it wasn't. So let's take these off. That came off. Oh, that screwed off real easily. Okay, so all 6. Man, these are real. Man, this was so much easier than trying to do those back ones. Holy crap! I wish it was not easy before. Let's see what happens if I lift now. Do it gently to see the inside. Oh. Well. Had I known that, I would have started there to begin with, but unfortunately I did not. But that is, very nice and neat. And if you had to replace anything standardized, this would be pretty easy to do. Yeah, move this camera. So, for some reason they put the control PCB on the back, which probably because you're not going to go to that anyway, you wouldn't replace that, although this is a nice little housing. If you were customizing this stick to use like a Brook board, maybe that would fit, and then it's got a pre-cut hole, so it might clean it up a bit. They do have some tape here to keep this one wire from pulling up too far. We'll put that back after. Okay, so I need to remember black wire. So this is for the JLF. The black is on, well, from your perspective, the right side. No, if I'm looking at this way, the right side. So if you've never replaced one of these Seimitsu, you use the same wire. You just flip it around. Let's see, that'll come off. Oh, that's stiff. Okay, so I hope you could see that on camera. I took a flathead and I put it right under this clip here, just enough to lift it. Oh, yeah, you can see that kind of. And then I could pull it out because that was really stiff. Not enough to break it, you know. Being careful, it's okay. We'll take the ball top off, otherwise this won't. That took a lot of doing, but ball top's off now, so we're gonna unscrew it from the metal plate housing here. I chewed up that, I chewed this up pretty well trying to get it off. It was not easy. Okay, 2 last screws, hopefully, probably. Remember, the pin out configuration goes downward when I put the new stick. And there we go. That is the JLF out. And the dust cap. In fact, I'm not sure if the new one comes with the dust cap. We may need that. Alright, here's the LS 5601. First time I've ever seen a little paper with the explanation. This is a first. First thing we need to do is take these 4 screws off. I forgot about those, so I was wrong with the screws. Because we need to put the octagonal gate on. Is placed. I already see another issue. Oh boy. Okay, OctoGate is installed, but there's a problem. I just noticed that this particular mounting plate is a 2-screw type, and this, well, it's much larger, and it's a 4-screw type. So, the question is, alright everyone, it's been 2 weeks since I stopped recording this nonsense. The last time I was here, we were figuring out that this ain't gonna mount, which I was not prepared for. So, I did a bit of research online, and I found one video of someone modifying this stick. And I knew there were adapter plates. I've used them before for my arcade machines, but I didn't think I was going to need one for this thing. So I went and ordered some. First I ordered this one. This is a Seimitsu, I don't remember the name of the plate. I thought maybe it might work. Based on the pictures, it did look smaller, because it has to line up with these 2 screws right there, and it's too big, so that didn't work. In the video I found that someone was able to use one of these, a Kowal adapter plate. I've used a version of this for my Astro City Cap, and this has, Jesus, has every hole imaginable. And when I looked at it, the problem with this is it interferes with the button. You see that? So my thought process was, well, I would buy an angle grinder and just cut the end off to make it fit. And by the way, these are not going to be wasted. I'll eventually probably need these brackets, so I'm keeping them as is. But there was one more, and I bought both of these from FocusAttack.com. There's one more I bought from Arcade Shock, and this is the VF adapter, and I will have the link in the description of this one. This one, just like Goldilocks, say that, is just, well, you have to trust me. I'm trying to do this recording. It's just right. Fits. So, what we're going to do is take this off, and by the way, these screws are, in my experience, a bitch to get off. Put this one on, screw it in, screw it into the panel, and then plug the harness in, and hopefully we're done. So let's get on that. Alright, that was not quite as hard as I used to having to deal with. Now for the VF plate, I need to make sure that the screw holes are like this, as you can see. So I have the mounting harness, which is going to go facing that way, downwards, towards the start button. Wait, no, I got to double check. Either way, it has to be, the mounting holes have to be like this in comparison to that, because I can flip this around if I need to. I got to double check my notes. But time to screw it in and get it in completely. So one of the problems is the harness for the Sanwa button clips on, but the wiring for the Seimitsu is different. So this little tab right here, we have to either bend it or break it off, because if I try to plug it in opposite onto the stick here, it's impeding it going through all 5 pins. So it's not going to have a lock. It's not going to lock into place as it's designed to do initially. Man, this one's a stiff plastic piece. But you will have to do that in order to get a Seimitsu stick to work, because their wiring is the pinout is literally the opposite of the Sanwa stick. Well, admittedly, this project has been much more difficult than I was initially expecting. Mounting plates, and I thought this was going to be a lazy, easy upgrade, but it would be short. We're a little in the way of issues, and I was wrong. So now that I've brought the got some wire cutters to try to cut this plastic, which I couldn't, it's too hard. I bent it up enough where the wiring harness plugged in is firm. That's not coming out easily. And I think I said at some point in the video from last week, or one of the recordings, that I'm never going to open this again, so it's going to remain as is. And there, with the VF mounting plate, it is in. Gotta screw it down a little more, but it is in. Okay, hopefully that's in the correct way. If it isn't, I'll have to unscrew it and flip it. But I think this is the right way. It's only been, a couple weeks since I opened this thing up. But the cable seems to match. So it's time to put this boy together. Oh, and I'm going to stick with the original green ball top instead of using the other ones I bought. Because it doesn't match. I'd have to change the buttons for it to match. It's just not worth it, to be honest. Thematically, it just doesn't match. Well, son of a bitch. Alright, new issue. Didn't think this was going to be a problem. This stick is thicker than the Sun one by, I guess, a significant amount. Well, enough. Yeah, enough. And there is they do have some plastic here, like a divot, but this is not going to work. I'm going to have to get my Dremel and either shave or cut a hole. Because if I press it down, the stick don't move. So, shit. Wow. This is turning into a much bigger project than, and I still also have dust washer on anyway, but this is turning into a much bigger project than I was prepared to deal with. Alright, I don't know how long it's going to take me at this point to get that cut, but the next scene will probably be me dremeling, either shaving or cutting a hole in the bottom, which I'm fine with. Again, you know, there is enough. If I cut, if there's going to be enough clearance. I may not be able to put this panel back on, this one specifically, the little one that was here. That may not actually go back on here in this case. Alright. Well, I can only do what I can do. I'm already this far into it. You might as well go all the way. It's a couple millimeters. If I go based on just the gap that it's lifting from where the stick turns, like as it's sitting on top of it, it's a couple millimeters there. At least on this side. Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to use that little tiny panel, which means it is going to lose some of its weight. Oh, maybe not. Actually, now that I look at it, it's got the hole already. So the concern will be the big plate. I might end up needing to get a goddamn grinder after all. Alright. Let's call this, I mean, it's a fail so far, but it's a learning experience. We're learning what is about this stick, even though I did not expect this to turn into such a project. Okay, let's get the Dremel. So, this, you can see, it looks like it's on there, right? There's this plate. And if you hold it down like if it was screwed in, yeah. So, if I move this, oh shit, whatever. There's, yeah, it's the divot right there. And that's what we're gonna drill through. Attempt to drill through the battery. Slowly. Yeah, we definitely need the Dremel. because someone's crazy.
Well, this would work a lot better if the drill was cooperating.
Yeah.
Because if it was moving faster, it would cut better.
Well, with the drum off now. Let's try that. I'm not sure that's big enough. Try it.
Well, actually.
If it sits flat. Still need more plastic. Is it coming through though at the bottom? Oh, it is. No, we need to get rid of that whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I messed up. Here. Okay, so I had bought a Tremolo kit very specifically for this project. Tried the drill. Didn't make a hole big enough, unfortunately. So Tim is putting a Dremel piece on, and we're going to widen that hole a bit, but I think it's going to work. So let's see. You want me to hold it?
Oh, I know that'll do it. It's just I was trying to clean it up, yeah.
Very clean. Hey, I can even tell. Ah, success! Alright.
Yeah, I mean...
It barely hangs up, so I'll be able to put the panel back on without it,
Yeah.
interrupting. Oh, let me take
I was gonna say, I can use the thing and not kind of...
Yeah, that'll work. Perfect. I think that'll... The panel will fit, no problems.
Yeah, I'll use the Dremel right now. We'll kind of clean that up a little bit.
Okay. So after literal months, I'm finally at assembly stage. After we cut that hole in the bottom of the plastic, which I don't mind. It's my stick. Never gonna sell it. Have no intention of selling it, especially after all I've gone through with this thing. I just want to get this thing finished. This video's taken months and a little over $100 parts. Well, for the Dremel, the stick, the multiple plates. I mean, this project was supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be like a 2-day video, and turned into a bit of a nightmare. But we're all past that now. Considering how the stick originally was oriented. Just wanted my Seimitsu stick. I didn't think it was gonna be this goddamn hard. Look at that. Oh yeah. Alright. I also gotta figure out which fucking screws I'm supposed to use. It's been literal months and I've had to move this tray because workbench is not just for this, for work. Actual electronics work. So we're gonna get this thing buttoned back up if I don't lose the screws by dropping them. And clean up this shaved plastic, which that worked better than I was expecting for sure. And get these plates, which are one is just really ballast. Yeah, that's the right screw. This is flat ones. Not using the correct star pattern, but I'll tighten them after. Yeah, and then hopefully show me using it working successfully in the next shot. The next couple shots anyway. So let me screw this in. We'll get to playing some games. Okay, so it's in. These don't tighten very tight as far as I can tell. These top ones, which is good because if I got the connector wrong on the stick, I need to get in there quick to make a swap. Alright, I figured it out. This hole right here doesn't make any sense. Other than there's a dimple here, which I'm not sure what that's for, but this was the original dimple was, and that's where the stick sticks in now. So I'll just screw this in because this has 4 screws. I'm pretty sure these are the right screws. Yeah, that's the right screw. So this is sort of a moment of truth kind of moment. The ballast one I knew I was going to be able to get in, but you'll notice the nub sticks out just a hair. So there's an entire possibility that when I put the other plate down, this might be in the way. Now, if it is, I plan on shaving the part down. Can't do that in this video, so I can get it on there. If not, I might just use a stick like this because it's still pretty hefty until I figure out a way to get that bottom plate over there on here. But this is like, I don't know, like a millimeter, maybe 2. Trying to show it there on camera where it's not blurry. So it does stick out a little bit more. Well, we knew that because we had to cut that nub. So I'm gonna try to put it on. Let's see if it impedes it. Alright everyone, please excuse the mess. I'm in my office right now. Some updates since the last cut. This stick does not natively work with the Steam Deck. That's what I was going to test it with originally. And then it wouldn't respond to most commands in the Mister. I bet both those things can be resolved, but for the sake of getting this video out there, I got it plugged into a decent gaming laptop. We're installing Guilty Gear Strive at the moment just to test the stick. Already checked it in Windows settings. I actually had to flip the ribbon cable around, so I had to unscrew this. But button check is working in Windows, so we know I didn't screw anything up now. It's functional. Play a little bit to show that it works. Finish this video. So let's get to it. So I ran into more issues. The stick is not recognized with most games natively. It's not X input. I tried using an X input emulator to try to resolve that. It is something that I can fix eventually. You know, this is not my permanent setup. My setup's at home. So we're gonna go good old Win Kawakas. How you say it? I've always called it that. I don't know. I know it works, so we're going to show some of that instead. So, stick works. Based on everything I've encountered right now, just wouldn't recommend bothering with this. Lighting. I'm just having all kinds of issues here. I mean, the stick works. It just comes down to figuring out how to get to work on the things I want it to work on. one super off. There's some weird lag going on here. I would not want to play this. Oh well. Stick works. Months of work for this. Alright, let's get into the final thoughts. So I can unequivocally say that the mod is not worth the effort, honestly. This is a lesson in me not reading ahead about this stick and assuming it would work. When I first plugged it into my PC at home, I didn't have any problems, although I didn't try that many games with it. It was mostly supposed to be with the Sega Astro Mini, that I bought it with. I could, replace the innards with a Brook board, for example. That would resolve most of my issues. But then at that point, I don't know, that feels a little too far to me. Modifying just the stick itself, that's one thing, but changing the PCB in it is kind of an entirely different thing. I don't know, you may feel differently about it. I am going to grind part of the metal so I can get this thing buttoned up, finally finish buttoning it up, and get this done, have this done. But I don't recommend modding this stick in the slightest, not even with another Sanwa stick because of weird mounting. And then I've been here for hours trying to get games to work natively and then having to download emulators and everything else that I wasn't really prepared for. This video was supposed to take 2 days. I thought, oh, I'll just drop it in and, I just wanted to record something arcade related. I don't get to, create videos on YouTube that often with my work schedule and things like that. And then this turned into a multi-month project. So, well, I really like the form factor of this stick, and certainly the look of it. I don't recommend swapping this out unless you absolutely have to. I thought for sure this thing was going to work with the Mister, because everything I've plugged into the Mister so far has worked with no problems. There's probably a fix for it, in the community, and if it isn't there, someone will eventually fix it. So it will be used for those things once I figure those things out, that and the Steam Deck, because I wanted it to be a more portable solution. We'll find solutions eventually. But as a plug-and-play solution, so you don't have to deal with all the things I have so far, avoid. That's it for this one. Jesus, I didn't think it was going to take this long. It will be this frustrating. Please leave your comments below. Tell me what I've done wrong, what I've done right, what you might have done differently, more. I mean, I put so much effort into this, I'm going to post this anyway, even though I'm very frustrated with the final product and how janky the cuts are going to be, or have been. I haven't even edited. I'm talking to the camera now before I edit. So I know this is not going to be the kind of video I would like to, with the polish I would like to usually have. Not a tutorial or how-to. This is more of a cautionary tale, I think. Alrighty, that's it for me on this one. If you want to see more of this stick, if you have any suggestions, maybe I'll do something, but otherwise, that's it for now. Please comment, like, subscribe, all the YouTube crap, and let me know what you think. Thank you.